Well, we're in the comfort of the home dugout chairs here at Hamilton for a change instead of the Excelsior Stadium. They are rather comfy. I don't think Scott Booth and his side were too comfy here because it was a difficult game against Hibs today. Paul Elliott, you were alongside myself in the commentary box for the highlights. What was your verdict today?
Yeah, well, I actually thought City were quite comfortable. Hibs played well at times. They had a lot of the ball at times, but I can't really remember that many clear-cut opportunities. Saying that, City only had a couple themselves and managed to get a couple of goals out of it. It was one of those kind of games where there was a lot of play kind of around the park, but not in the kind of dangerous areas of the park. City had a couple of chances and they took them, and that's how they've won the game today. And it's a good 3 points considering how good Hibs were last season, how good the players that they've got are, and maybe they've both been not at top form today, but it could have been different.
Yeah, I think we've been spoilt with last season's encounters, especially the 2-3-all draws. There was a lot of talk before the game. Scott Booth said it, I'm sure Chris Roberts, the Hibs head coach, would have said, well, whatever happens, title's not over. 8 points the gap, Hibs got a game in hand. It is still early in the season, but it's a big gap. Yeah,
there's a gap opening up already. But Hibs are they're a really, really good team. So they will be following closely City as the season goes on. It's just whether City can be as consistent as they have been, and they've got a track record of being consistent, so you can imagine that it's going to come down to Hibs having to take points off City at some point. They're probably going to have to beat City at some point, but as I said, I thought City were looking quite comfortable, and I think the gap that's there is probably because City have got a bigger squad. They've got a more experienced squad, and Hibs, I felt, kind of look a wee bit stretched at the minute. Probably need to add a couple of players, and then we'll see how it goes then.
Yeah, Hibs obviously got Europe as well as Glasgow City this campaign, and City themselves, unbeaten in the league since September 2014. Scott Booth, as head coach, has not been beaten yet in the league. Only the draws against Hibs last campaign. Looking at the game, obviously a bit unfortunate how the first goal came by. Fiona Brown done so well. I had a lot of joy, did City down that left hand side, and just unfortunate Brownlee tucked it in.
Yeah, Fiona Brown was fantastic today. When she's at this kind of performance level, it's really hard to deal with somebody who's so quick, so strong, powerful, direct, always manages to get to the touch line, and her cutbacks are so good as well. And that's kind of where the goal came from. It was a good cutback. Fleeton missed it, and just unlucky for Brownlee. It's caught just below the knee, I think, and it's gone in the back of the net. It's one of those goals, but you only get goals like that when you've got players who are good enough to create the opportunity, which Fiona Brown is. But throughout the game, she was just brilliant. I thought it was our best game since she's come back from her injury, and getting close to the standard that we know she's at.
Absolutely. So 1-0 it was at the break, and I think obviously Fiona Brown, you always have your heart in your mouth when she went down in the second half, but she got back to feet and soldiered on. And then the second goal, when Hibs were really started to get a bit of momentum, not too many clear-cut chances, bang, Sarah Crilly at 4'11" or so, free header in the box. Don't know how that quite happened, but it was a good header.
It was a brilliant header, and I never ever thought I'd ever see her score a header, but she was fantastic. It was a great run. I think it was a run that did it. She found herself space, dangerous area, and when you're free in an area like that with so much goal to aim for, you can see how even at 4'11" you can score a header. But Fiona Brown again was involved with that, and those two I thought actually combined very well when they were on the park together. But what header! You've got to say it was a great goal for Sarah Crilly. I'm sure she'll look at the highlights of that one, saying, "Look, I'm 4'11", I scored a header."
I'm sure she's maybe trying to claim 5 foot. Obviously ahead, the games are just back to back this month. There's a good run of games for City. Hibs have got semi-final action. So have City at Ainsley Park next Sunday. We'll have all the highlights. Interesting one, Aberdeen finally off the board today.
Yeah. They're a good team, Aberdeen. I quite enjoy watching them as well, and we were expecting them to put in a challenge this season. It's probably not going to happen, but I'm sure they'll have some sort of influence on games as the season goes on. And they're never an easy team to play, especially up in Aberdeen. And I'm looking forward to see them again against City, and we'll see how the games go.
And it could be another Hibs City final. Who knows?
We know what those games are like. That was a great one last season, great two last season, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good.
Okay. Thanks very much, Paul. We'll see Paul next week. We'll see you next week with all the highlights. We'll have to get out the comfy chairs though, and we'll be back next Sunday for all the highlights of the semi-final of the SWPL Cup. Do join us then.